Welcome to another episode of Recipe Club, the show where we welcome your recipes into our homes. We make them as you tell us to, and then when you're not looking, we do some crazy dirty stuff to them. Not dirty, just normal stuff. Our theme ingredient this week is canned tomatoes, a staple in nearly every household in America. Usually goes into spaghetti sauce, but we got a lot of interesting recipes from you, our loyal viewers, including a really special one that we have chosen to go with. It is from a woman named Ruth, who has submitted a recipe for Jeyuk Orzo, which is a traditional spicy stir-fried Korean pork belly recipe with a twist.
So I love to cook, and the one thing about, because I have cancer, the one thing about having cancer is like, especially the type of cancer I have, it like really depletes your energy. Like I have two boys that eat a ton of food. They love to eat, and they love Korean food. So I'm always looking to cook in ways that kind of minimizes my way of like, you know, to help my strength. So I'm like using as much strength as I like the least amount of strength. So this Jeyuk Orzo was something that I had made previously, and that was sitting in the refrigerator, and I needed to use it because it was like, you know, it's gonna go bad and I need to use it. And so I was like, well, I have orzo. I can't go to the market, but I have orzo in the pantry. I have canned tomatoes. I always have those things, and I have this Jeyuk Orzo. Okay, let me try it. So I browned the butter and I toasted the orzo, and then I added, then I added the tomato, and then I added the Jeyuk Orzo on top, and I just kind of cooked it off, and it ended up being kind of like a paella, Korean paella, I want to say. Sometimes you make a recipe and you're expecting, oh, this is gonna be delicious, and then it ends up terrible. But then you think, oh, this is gonna be really weird, but it turns out really good, and you're like, oh, that's like surprising, and you're like, kind of continue with that.
This has the potential to be a true game changer recipe. Something that I love to see, the whole Recipe Club loves to see, recipes that will take a traditional thing and get them on the table quick, fast, easy, and delicious. So we are going to make Ruth's original recipe for Jeyuk Orzo with orzo. Then we are going to mess around in a few different ways. Dave is going to tackle a version of this using nothing but pantry ingredients that are shelf stable. Priya Krishna is going to make a keto version of this dish, so she'll be omitting the orzo and filling it with something else. And I am going to try to do the ultimate home version of this in under 20 minutes, start to finish. But first, I'm going to make the original version so you can see how Ruth's Jeyuk Orzo with orzo comes together. Today we're making Ruth Lee's Pork Belly Jeyuk Orzo, and the theme ingredient for this recipe is canned tomatoes. So if you're making something with canned tomatoes, why not work with the best Bianco di Napoli canned tomatoes for all of life's savory ups and downs? Put those aside for now, as we're going to make some pork marinade, which starts with a sliced onion. I still can't get that snapping technique to work that I see on social media all the time, but anyway. To that, we're gonna add 5 cloves of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 can of Korean pear juice, 5 tablespoons of gochujang, and a good splash of water. So what are we marinating today? Well, this is a pork belly Jeyuk Orzo, so let's marinate some pork belly. This pork belly is a little bit thicker than I wanted, but that's okay. Cut it into 1 or 2 inch pieces and toss them in with the marinade. Use one of these newfangled American-style chopsticks to grab a cup or so of old kimchi, the older the better, and toss that in and let it all sit for, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. I'd be lying if I said I did that. I basically just cleaned my station and then got right back into it. So up next, you're gonna heat a large pan over medium-high heat. I like to use this wok, but a donabe would be great. A Dutch oven's fine too. Melt 4 tablespoons of butter and add a whole package of orzo, also known as Italian long grain rice, and let that all get nice and toasty and a little brown. At that point, you're gonna add a cup of chicken stock along with 16 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Again, there's those Bianco tomatoes. Introduce the marinated pork belly and onions to the party. Cover and bring to a simmer and let that cook nice and low and slow for 20 to 25 minutes or until the pasta's done, the pork's cooked, and most of the liquid has been absorbed. And that's it. Voila. A one-pot wonder from a hardworking mom who is fighting cancer while raising 2 boys and a husband. It doesn't get any more home cooking than this. So there you have it, the original version as sent in to us at the Recipe Club. This is, like I said, home cooking of the highest order. There is minimal dirty pans, minimal fuss, minimal time wasted. It's just pure deliciousness delivered to your gut. Thank you, Ruth, for sending that in. Now we're going to see a few variations on this, starting with Priya Krishna's keto version of the same Jeyuk Bokum with orzo.
Okay, so I got Ruth's sort of Korean tomato orzo mashup, and it looks really interesting. So right off the bat, the things that are not keto are orzo. Chris said I cannot use cauliflower rice, so I found these really cool kelp noodles that I actually think Chris, Dave, and I have all tried before, and that seemed like a really cool base to sort of go like a tomato sauce spaghetti type of vibe. So I'm gonna do that. So technically gochujang is not keto from research that I did, just because the sweeteners in it are not keto. So we are going to do a keto version that has gochugaru, miso, some rice wine vinegar, some monk fruit powder, which is like a keto sweetener. My friend Guy, who's on the keto diet, gave me some of. And then a little bit of salt and water to thin it out. And that's gonna be like my little faux keto gochujang, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so while the pork belly marinates, I'm going to make the tomato sauce, and I'm basically gonna treat this like I'm making like a pasta sauce. You know, brown the butter, and in the original recipe you toast the orzo, but I'm just gonna brown the butter, add the crushed tomatoes, add the stock, add my salt and pepper, and just let that go and let that simmer. And then I'll add the pork belly, cook all of that down, cook my kelp noodles, put them all together, call it a dish. So these are the kelp noodles that I got. You can see like almost no carbs, no sugar. They look great. They look like they'll be delicious.
I don't know if they look delicious, but they do look keto.
I've got my sauce. I haven't added the marinade or the pork or anything to it, but it's just like basically like a brown butter tomato sauce with stock, salt, and pepper. So I'm gonna taste it. I bet this is gonna be really good.
Look at this lens flare. What is J.J. Abrams directing this?
Brown butter makes everything better.
Can't get over this lens flare. This is too much.
It's really delicious. Yum. Okay, our marinade and pork is out of the fridge. So I am just going to add it in, and it looks like you bring it to a boil, cover, simmer 20-25 minutes, and then I will rinse my noodles, do a little mixy mix, and yeah, see how it tastes. All right, so here's everything mixed together. This looks promising, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna bring this to a boil and then let it simmer down. All right, we're at a boil, so I'm gonna cover it, simmer it, and we'll see how it tastes. It has been 30 minutes, and as you can see, it's still really liquidy, and I need this to be more like a sauce. So I'm just gonna let it keep cooking for a little while.
I am so jealous of Priya's ancient witch's cauldron spoon. That is an incredible wooden spoon that has seen some stuff.
Yum. I am genuinely very proud of myself and very excited about this. Okay, this is awesome. It's so good. Letting it cook down to like a ragu is absolutely the right call. Kelp noodles are great. I think this is a winner. And the keto diet, not so bad.
Let's give it up for Priya Krishna coming up with the faux chujang right there. If you're keto and you're looking for an alternative to delicious, delicious gochujang because there's a lot of sugar in the store-bought version, do what Priya did. Mix together some miso, some chili flakes or gochugaru, rice wine vinegar, and that delightful monk fruit sweetener, and you're gonna get a good approximation of gochujang. Again, mad props to Priya. Let's see if Mr. Chang can be as creative with his assignment of making the exact same dish using nothing but shelf-stable ingredients.
All right, I'm gonna make this a second time because I forgot to record it the first time. But this time I'm gonna do one that's not spicy for the kids. Yeah, pretty easy.
This guy, right off the bat, instead of the fresh pork belly in the original version, my man Chang has gone to Spam Town. Look how much stuff you can get out of a can, people. You've got your canned tomato sauce, courtesy of Chris Bianco. You've got bacon-flavored Spam, orzo, canned kimchi. That is a man who has opened a can of Spam before.
These are all my ingredients, onion, all pantry.
So if you're out there thinking, oh, this isn't realistic, why would I ever make these things with shelf-stable ingredients? You're wrong. There is whose arm was that? That just stole something from Dave. What was that? Somebody just stole one of your ingredients, Dave. What? Why did that thing just come back? Somebody just needed a little bit of granulated onion? What's happening in your kitchen right now, Dave?
I'm gonna brown the orzo and the ghee, and then I'm gonna add everything else.
So for his fat, Dave has chosen to use ghee, which is essentially clarified butter. So there are none of the milk solids and milk fat, none of the milk solids in there. So it is much, much, much more shelf stable than butter or milk.
Adding the kimchi in, because as you can see, the orzo is getting brown.
A little onion and garlic in place of the fresh stuff. Little unpaid advertisement for Chris Bianco's tomato sauce. A little taste of old Arizona right here in your home. That is a little bit of chicken bouillon. That's a very cool move, by the way. You don't have to make chicken bouillon into broth and then pour it in. Just throw that bouillon right in there and mix it in with a little water. Nice move, Dave.
So this is the finished product. I was dubious, but it tastes really good, I gotta say. It is not what I thought it was gonna taste like. It tastes Korean. I think the story of the recipe really resonated with me. It reminds me that, I mean, I'm constantly humbled that I don't know anything every day, but judging this recipe by the cover, I was like, this isn't gonna be very good, but it works. And it's just all there, umami, sweetness. Orzo's a nice substitute, so very good.
There you have it. Dave made that recipe not once, but twice just for you, and I totally second his sentiment. This recipe looks a little kooky on paper. If you're a little worried about combining Italian canned tomatoes and Korean ingredients, rest easy. Ruth knows what she's doing. She has a power that only a mother has to create these types of things. The final variation on her recipe, I'm gonna try to make the same exact thing in 20 minutes, start to finish. It's a tall order. Pasta takes a second to cook. There's no marinating process, so let's see how I did. Hello. I'm gonna try to make this, hi, it's Chris. Hi, it's Chris. My home. I'm gonna try to make this pork belly Jeyuk Orzo in under 20 minutes. There's a 30 minutes to 1 hour marinade that I'm going to have to forego. There's a 25-minute simmer. I'm gonna try to do it without the microwave. I'm gonna do it with pans. I've got a donabe and a nonstick pan that I'm gonna use. Let's see if I can get this done. Hey Google, set a timer for 20 minutes.
All right, 20 minutes, starting now.
Let that melt. I'm gonna add some orzo. Not that much. I don't know, maybe a little bit more. Pork, belly, bunch of it. That's a lot of pork belly. Oh, even with 20 minutes, I gotta take the time to wash my hands. Let's do some sesame oil in there. Some sugar. Soy sauce. Gochujang. I don't have pear juice, so applesauce, you know, pear juice, same thing. All right, hold on. I'm nervous about this orzo having time to cook. So what goes in here? Tomatoes, this is the theme ingredient, tomatoes. And then old kimchi, which I happen to have. Very old, very smelly kimchi. And then some water. So my goal is to cook this basically like rice. Basically like exactly as much water as I think it will absorb. Down to cover that up. Is there supposed to be chicken stock in there? Oh. Little chicken broth. Hey Google, how much time left?
You've got 15 minutes and 14 seconds remaining.
I mean, come on guys. Not too bad for 4 minutes worth of cooking. I've got orzo working, onion going in with my pork belly, and that's gotta go in the pan. Right now, buddy, you need to get that in the pan, dude. What are you thinking about? Just get it in the pan. What is that mixing even doing? Just get it in the pan, dude. You have 20 minutes. So the idea here is, if you had marinated the pork, it would have held on to all this flavor once it went in with the pork belly and all of this, and it would have kind of steamed and been nice. But since I didn't have time to marinate, I wanted to just do it in the pan so I could sear in all of that sugar and get some good caramelization, get all that gochujang flavor, and lose none of it to the orzo. I wish that I had a little thinner pork belly. I wish I had a thinner belly all around, you know? I will transfer this onto there. So that's what's going on in there. I'm gonna stir it so it doesn't burn to the bottom. It's just splattering everywhere. Do you guys have one of these things? I love this splatter guard thing. I know it's hacky, but I'm a hack. Just a couple of minutes left here. I'm gonna put the pork on top of this thing. All right, that's what that looks like. All right, that's our alarm. Let's turn the stove off, and we're done. Let's see what this looks like. Come on, that's 20 minutes, start to finish. 20 minutes, start to finish. What else could you do in 20 minutes? Orzo's done perfect. Have sex 3 times. All right, let's put it on a plate and you can see it better. That looks good, man. You should be proud of yourself. Orzo's perfect. Pork, nice. Kimchi, nice. I think this is the way to make this. I don't know that marinating would have made any difference. I think you can absolutely do it this way. You could have I could have put the pork right on top, but I think that I wanted a little bit of that color from the pan. 20-minute pork belly Jeyuk Orzo. Pretty happy with myself. Bro, do you mind? Honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself. That was 20 hurried minutes, but if you gave me 30, that would have been a casual walk in the park. I think you can do this recipe any of the 3 ways you saw today, and you're still gonna find deliciousness at the end of the road. Priya did a keto version that looked pretty awesome and came up with the incredible idea of gochujang. Dave Chang did his pantry-only version twice for you, and I did it in under 20 minutes, and legitimately, it was delicious. Nothing was undercooked. You might need a second pan to do it, but it all is a testament to this original recipe from Ruth.
Jeyuk is not for the faint of heart. If you can make it and you eat it, it's like, oh, there's a world of other possibilities of Korean food out there other than barbecue. There are soups, there are things that like look like they're gonna eat you when you eat it. Delicious. Korean food is so much variety. For such a small country, Korean people love food. So there's a lot of variety of food.
Good luck in your fight against cancer. We are pulling for you. And thank you and everybody else for continuing to follow along with the Recipe Club. We love cooking the things you're sending in. We love hearing your stories. So keep those recipes coming to us. If you want to hear way more about how we approach these 3 recipes, listen to the Recipe Club podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And keep on tuning in for more Recipe Club. We'll talk to you all real soon.